as you know, was also the first state to domesticate the national gender policy. This was done in 2011. Public awareness is crucial to what we are doing. And for us, it's not just a one-stop thing. We'll continue to ensure that people are aware not only about the laws, the policies, but also government's attitude towards gender-based violence.
We've seen that at the end of the day, when these cases get to court, we need prosecutors who not only understand victims and how to protect them, but also prosecutors who are able to fast-track cases. So people who are able to push through cases, because we've seen that the issue of delay gives room for people to try and compromise the case.
VAP bill has been passed into law in Adamawa State. The few activities taking place are the capacity building workshops, creating awareness amongst the people, and letting them know that this is a heinous crime. It should be taken very, very seriously, because it debases womanhood, debases manhood, and so on. And it could be your child. We should all be part of this. We should be our brother's keepers.
Yobe State is one of the states that is inflicted with this insurgency. We have earlier amended our penal code to the effect that if you commit a rape on a minor, you go for life imprisonment.
Police will always say when the survivors or the victims do not complain, what will they do? So we invested a lot on community sensitization, awareness creation, to let the people to break the silence. And how do we do that? It's not enough to tell people to speak up. You need to give them what I call a repeated assurance of the kind of comprehensive support that you have for them. You assure them that you accompany them to the police, you will be there in the health center, you will be there in court, and you provide every single, when I mean all, moral support, financial support.
Earlier on this year, Edo recorded a case that went viral with the hashtag for Justice for Uwa. Now that case currently is being attended to, also is being investigated by the state. Forensic was paid for by the governor. It's still ongoing, but a huge progress has been made.
If we really want the victims to have justice, there should be a mechanism for funding the investigation and prosecution in an environment where the police have severe lack of capacity and resources for a criminal investigation.
What is emergency medical rescue? What do we mean by psychosocial response? What are the opportunities? What are the issues? And what are the gaps that are inherent in that aspect of SGBV response? That is the medical and the psychosocial response.
The role of the social worker is to give what we call survivor-based response. Not necessarily what we feel is right for the patient, but based on what the patient's needs are. Some clients might come and their fear is pregnancy. Others, their fear is contraction of HIV and AIDS. And others, their fear is virginity. In the survivor-based response, there are basically 6 steps. Engagement of the client, assessment of the client, action plan implementation, follow-up, and finally closure. This cycle should take about 6 months.
Majority of those who sexually abuse children are those who are known by and who are also related to the children. And because they are children, there's a lot of neglect, there's a lot of not supporting the children with the need to make reports, concerning issues of sexual violence against them.
It is very important to get the needed evidence, because without evidence, you will find that if cases reaches the court, it will be abortive. Therefore, we pay very much attention in ensuring that evidence are collected and reserved.
And so when a woman with a disability get raped or gets like, oh, shouldn't even say, should be happy somebody, and just kind of a thing. And so our girls are very, afraid to even speak out or even engage the process. So they go in and very traumatized. So where would they get this help? Can they walk into your center and become a safe space for them to open up and say, yeah, this was what happened, without you, first of all, asking them what happened to their eyes, their nose, or their ears? I'm talking from, from a very, very, first-hand experience.
Nigeria, from my experience, is a country that is very good with crowdsourcing. If the story is good and it touches hearts, the 1,000 nairas here, the 500 here, the 200 here, the little drops of water come together and we get something impactful.
I'm happy working with my sisters, the governor's wives against gender-based violence. We constitute a very formidable platform that shows that indeed there is a lot of political will in all our states, and we commit to keep doing our best to see the end of this scourge. Thank you very much.
Brought into the room experiences from the United Kingdom, experiences from the federal government of Nigeria through NAPTIP, experiences from all the SACs that are doing great jobs across the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We heard voices from Kaduna, voices from Ekiti, voices from Lagos, voices from Yobe, Ondo, Ogun, Edo, Adamawa, etc. All united in their efforts to make sure that survivors of sexual and gender-based violence get this kind of support that they need. What we have said in the last 2 days is that yes, progress has been made, but more work needs to be done. 29 SACs in 17 states, quite an incremental progress, but not anywhere near enough, and so more needs to be done.